Sulfur mainly circulates as what? Look at the diagram and see what compound you see most circulating through all layers of Earth. If sulfate, good job. Sulfate is mainly cycled, and it's going to cycle, as you see here, in the atmosphere, in the lithosphere, and in the hydrosphere. So all layers of Earth, including living things, because we know CHAN-PS is in all living things, and so it's going to travel through us. It's mainly a big component of our geosphere. It's found in the soil, it's found in rocks, and it's found in fossil fuels. Especially coal has high concentration of sulfur. So how does it circulate is the next question. Since sulfur is a big component of our soil, what do you think is going to happen next if sulfur is in the soil? Yes, plants are going to take in this sulfur from the soil, or sulfate, I should say. I shouldn't say sulfur. I should tell you the compound. And then what happens? This should come out naturally already. Once plants have the organic compound, what always happens next? What do we call that? Food chain. Yes, consumption. And then what happens? How does it go back? Waste or excretion. And then what processes that waste? What do we call that process? Where waste gets broken down. Thank you. My little recyclers, they return all organic matter back into the cycle at some point. Now, my decomposers can either return the sulfate back into the soil, or they can return the sulfate, or I'm sorry, not return, but put it into the atmosphere, which we haven't talked about, okay? Because we were talking about sulfur in the soil going into the plant, an organism eating the plant, returning it to the soil. But if it goes into the atmosphere, other things can happen, and I want you to know that other things besides decomposition can put sulfur in the atmosphere. What else can put sulfur in the atmosphere? Or sulfate, I should say. Or sulfur dioxide. Volcanoes, good job. Volcanoes, even though when we talked about the birth of Earth, we only really mentioned carbon dioxide and water. Sulfur, because it's high in the soil, when volcanic eruptions occur, a lot of sulfur gets emitted into the atmosphere. What else can put sulfur in the atmosphere? Good. Burning of fossil fuels. And in that matter, any organic burning will put sulfur into the atmosphere. But I want you to know that one of the biggest components of sulfur or sulfate into our atmosphere from fossil fuels is actually coal. And then, so you know it can be released as sulfur dioxide or sulfate. So I want you to keep in mind that it's not just sulfate that travels.
What's biomass again?
Organic matter. Bio means organic, mass is matter. Any living thing. Yep, because we all have sulfur. CHAN-PS, yes? I'm done, by the way.